The Clippers' three-game winning streak ended Tuesday night with a 127-120 loss at New Orleans. Second straight game, the Clippers had to play without head coach Ty Lue. Lue is suffering with back pain. The NBA family lost an ultimate role model on Tuesday. Junior Bridgman, who the Lakers traded in 1975 to acquire a player named Kareem Abdul-Jabbar from Milwaukee, passed away after suffering a medical emergency while attending an event in Louisville. Bridgman was 71. Bridgman played the last 2 seasons of his 12-year NBA career with the Clippers. The real story about Bridgman is what he did after basketball. He never made more than $350,000 a year in his career, but he became a billionaire after building a fast food empire. In February, Forbes magazine listed Bridgman's net worth as more than $1.4 billion. More on the outstanding legacy of Junior Bridgman this afternoon. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA
16th from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. at Norman Houston Park, 4800 South La Brea in Los Angeles, the park at the summit. For special parking options and more information, visit blmla.org or go to BLM Los Angeles on Instagram. Say her name, Breonna Taylor, and join us in loving on Black women. Happy Women's History Month from all of us at KBLA Talk 1580.
I want to perform their favorite song, but you know they love to sue. Yeah, that song. Maybe I think about it. You know what? I slow it down. Say, ladies, do me this solid.
Oh, you done lost your damn mind.
I want to perform.
The National Football League welcomes you to the
Why would that be for you?
Well, I think it's really a time for us as people of color, minorities,
Sure.
To stick together.
Yeah.
To really come together and really realize that this is a moment where it is about us, and realizing the people that aren't like us.
Yeah.
But I really think it's a moment where we really got to support each other and going into the future. Yeah.
When you say this moment, and I'm going to follow you, as you'll see, this is my way. I'll follow you through the whole hour. When you say this is our moment, what do you mean by that? Because there's some people who believe the exact opposite, that we are being put upon, that we're being politically, economically, socially, culturally disenfranchised in this moment. I don't mean to make you political, but that's what it feels like. We were just talking literally for the first 2 hours of our program today in a variety of conversations about the grim moment that we find ourselves in. And in many ways, black folk are taking it on the chin. So you say you think this is our moment. By that, you mean what?
Sticking together.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think we have any choice.
Yeah.
And it becomes clear in moments like this, you know. So I look at moments like this as an opportunity for us to really show how much we we love each other, because we don't really have a choice. And you know, when you are stuck with moments like this, with challenges like this, it is, you either fold or you step up to it, and our option to step up to this moment is clear.
Yeah. Let me ask a question that may strike you as interesting, but again, I'm going to follow you. So you keep talking. I'm going to keep asking, right?
Okay.
We got an hour of this, so brace yourself. I'm pretty good at this.
I know.
at following guests and asking questions. You said something a moment ago that just it literally hit me the minute it came out of your mouth. I have a smart audience. They probably know where I'm going. And my question is, do we love each other? And let me unpack that. I'm thinking Jerry, of course. Let me just do this now. Jerry is an actor, a comedian, a writer. We invited him on to talk about the hit series of which he is a part, critically acclaimed series, award-winning series, Abbott Elementary. Everybody loves and laughs at the kids and the adults. We'll play a clip for you in a second here, but we're talking about Abbott Elementary in this hour. If you're a fan, you know Jerry Miner's face, you know his voice, you know his role on the show. We'll get to that in a second, I promise. But to your point about us loving, taking this moment to show that we love each other, raises a fundamental question as to whether or not black people do love each other. And I don't want to put more on this moment than any other moment in black history as if there's some higher bar now for us, or as if we're supposed to express and show our love to each other in ways that black people heretofore never have. But speaking of comedians, I'm thinking of the Chris Rock joke you recall. There are black folk and there are niggas. Even the black folk are sick of the niggas. So you remember that joke, right? So there is this dichotomy inside of black America, and I'm not even sure. I want to be wrong about this, but I'm not even sure that the majority of black folk love black folk. I mean, what you went there, so I'm following you. It's your phrase. So convince me to the extent you can that you truly believe that black people love black people.
Well, in my experience.
Okay.
You know, I know that we have a lot of examples where we don't love each other.
Right.
And we're human beings, you know, we have conflict. But in my experience, and especially in my work, you know, we really are supportive of each other, more than I would think.
Yeah.
When I run across people, when I work, and a lot of times it's rare.
Sure.
Sometimes, you know, now it's a lot more since I'm working on a show that has a lot of you know, other faces on it.
Yeah.
But in my experience, it's been rare, and in the times that I do run across people who look like me, there is a kinship there.
Yeah.
I mean, even if it's a nod of the head.
Sure.
You know,
Sure.
so in my experience, I know that it's there.
Yeah.
I also know that we have been put upon, as you say,
Yeah.
and there has a conflict has been introduced into our community.
Yeah.
You know?
I think that black people in some ways are perhaps more collaborative than we've been.
Mm-hmm.
I do believe that black people, you know, many of us want to support each other.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying that I disagree with you, but that whenever we introduce the word love into the conversation, I have to unpack the definition of the word love to begin with. What's it mean to love somebody and to express that love? And there are ways, as you said, that I could argue that black people do love each other. Exhibit A, Exhibit B, Exhibit C, Exhibit D. But we're talking about loving each other, not tolerating, you know, but loving each other. I could also give you just as many exhibits of things that trouble me about the ways we treat and maltreat each other. And so it's a fascinating concept. We ain't going to spend all of our time talking about it. I will think about it the rest of the day with this notion of whether or not black people really do love black people. And if we truly love each other, the Bible I read, not to proselytize, suggests you'll know a tree by the fruit that it bears. And so I'd have to think about the ways in which I think we actually show every day that we are in love with ourselves. And some of that starts, don't get me going, see, now you already got me started. Some of that starts with loving ourselves as individuals. You can't love nobody else. Right? Unless you first love yourself. And I see too many black people that ain't in love with themselves.
Sure.
So it's impossible to take that next step to love others. But I digress on that for now. We ain't going to be that deep the whole hour, I promise you. But Jerry got me started. Y'all know how we do it. If you say something, I'm going to interrogate it. And Jerry stepped out there, and so I wanted to follow up on it. He's actor. He's comedian. He's writer. He's Jerry Minor. He is on the critically acclaimed series, Abbott Elementary. We'll play some sound from that as if you need it. Everybody knows the show. We'll give you a taste of his work on Abbott Elementary when we come forward and move straight ahead with this conversation. Delighted to have Jerry Minor in studio right now on Tavis Smiley.
From Leimert Park with love, this is Tavis Smiley.
This is an ad by BetterHelp. Think about your mentors and idols, the people who inspire you the most. While it may look like they have all the answers, they don't. But they do know when to ask questions and seek the support they need. In a world that glorifies hyper-independence, it's easy to forget that we're all better with a support system. Therapy is a great way to find a consistent source of support in your life, so you can break free from the outdated belief that seeking help is a sign of weakness. BetterHelp has experienced therapists ready to help you with challenges ranging from anxiety and depression to relationships and stress. It's convenient, too. You can join a session with the click of a button, helping you fit therapy into your busy life. You can even send your therapist a message anytime something comes up. Build your support system with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/ABCRadio today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/ABCRadio.
A new day is on the horizon.
Who paved the way for the leaders of today? An untold number of remarkable women, known and unknown, who shaped our past and continue to inspire our future in every field of human endeavor, education, civil rights, technology, and more. Celebrating Women's History Month, we are KBLA Talk 1580.
Make a move into a home of your own. With City National Bank's Ladder Up Home Loan Grant, you could receive up to $20,000 that you never need to pay back. Use it toward your down payment, save on closing costs, or to buy down your mortgage rate. Find out more at cnb.com/ladderuphome. City National, here for every stage of the journey. Property must be in a qualifying market in California, New York, or New Jersey. Additional terms and conditions apply. Not all applicants will qualify. Terms are subject to change without notice. City National Bank is an equal housing lender. Member FDIC. NMLS number 536994.
KBLA Talk 1580 is pleased to announce that, like George and Weezy,
We're moving on now.
earlier this year, we were named a semifinalist for the American Climate Leadership Awards 2025. Wait for it. Wait for it.
You ready?
KBLA Talk 1580 was recently selected as one of 10 finalists being considered for this prestigious award. Hundreds of organizations, institutions, and even cities were nominated in the selection process. But KBLA Talk 1580 has made it to the finals. You're invited to watch live on Wednesday, April 16th at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Central, as Eco America announces the winner and the runner-up, awarding over $200,000 in prize money. To watch live, just go to ecoamerica.org to register and attend the online ceremony. That's ecoamerica.org. Don't miss the presentation of the American Climate Leadership Awards 2025, Wednesday, April 16th, and wish us luck. Caring about the climate, caring about the community, changing the conversation. We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we've got your black. Let's get back to more of this rich dialogue with Tavis Smiley.
Tavis Smiley and Jerry Minor, we have both forgiven Miles Lowe for messing up that Kendrick thing at the beginning. I told Miles, you can't mess up Kendrick, Miles. Whatever you mess up, he's like, that's the man. We were having this debate at the top of the show about which version of Kendrick's song we going to play, the original or the Super Bowl performance. And we tried the Super Bowl performance, and it didn't quite work, so we had to switch gears right quick. But anyway, it ain't like y'all ain't heard it a million times anyway. But we love and respect Mr. Lamar. So I'm looking at our socials, and that little conversation we had for a few minutes, Jerry, has got this thing lit, talking about love that you started, and whether or not black people truly love each other. My friend Cornell West says all the time, and I have come to say it because he said it to me so many times. And not just to me, but to others in speeches in this country and around the globe. He always makes the point that we are who we are because somebody loved us. We are who we are because somebody loved us. It could have been your mother, could have been your father, could have been your grandparents, could have been your adopted parents, could have been your big brother, your big sister, your auntie. Everybody is who they are. We are who we are because somebody loved us. And so I don't know that we can solve the problem or answer the question accurately of whether or not there's enough evidence to suggest that in this moment that black people really love black people. But I am fascinated as I get into your career in Abbott Elementary, et cetera, for you to tell me a bit about your backstory. Tell me about the people who loved you.
Well, and that's very interesting because I can talk about the people who loved me and maybe who didn't actually or who couldn't display love for me. You know, my mother most definitely had a huge influence on me. But I grew up a Jehovah's Witness, and I was disfellowshipped at
This is getting
18.
Good. See, you never know where these conversations are going.
Yeah.
But I want to hear this story. And before you go there, I literally was in conversation this week with another brother in Detroit who was disfellowshipped.
Oh.
And the impact that had on his life and still has to this day. So keep going. You were J-Dub.
Yes.
Disfellowshipped at 18.
19.
Okay, go ahead.
And just lost a relationship with my mother. My mother and father were divorced. I still have a really good relationship with my father, and that's another person who loved me too.
Right.
Shaped by him. But I talked a little bit about this, about how sometimes I think that, outside influences can change the way that we we treat each other, even though I know the love is there. So I didn't talk to my mother for 20 years. She passed away a few years ago, and I was luckily able to reconnect with her somewhat before she died.
Yeah.
But there's an example of knowing that there's love there. There's a natural inclination for that, and just outside influences making it so that we couldn't express that toward each other. You know?
And by outside influences, I'm not trying to bash on the church.
Sure.
But by outside influences, you're talking now about the institution.
Yes, right.
Okay.
And the way that she interpreted it, because I know that there's many people who
Right.
have disfellowship relatives and they talk to them and they have a
Right.
relationship with them, and there's
Right.
those who don't, you know.
How did I'm getting off in your business now. And anything I ask you don't want to answer, tell me and I'll back off of it. But this I think is instructive and informative because you're not the only person in this space, and somehow you've been able to navigate your life to a level of success anyway. And we all have these hills to climb, right, in our lives. So I am curious though as to how, because you're not the first person I've had this conversation with. I am curious as to how one navigates his or her life forward when one has been disfellowshipped from any sort of membership, and that becomes a division. It becomes a wedge in your own family. How did you all those years? I mean, see, I can't imagine. My mother and I don't agree on everything, and she's listening right now. And I'm serious about this. We do not agree. We've had some serious conversations, some serious come to Jesus meetings over the years. I've written about this in one of my books. I have had some issues with my mama, and yet I love her more than anything in the world. And I can't imagine going 20 years, 2 decades without talking to my mother, particularly where there's a wedge of division by some outside force, by some outside institution. My mama means everything to me. So I'm just curious as to how you navigated those years without the loving embrace of your mother over an outside institution.
Well, I luckily had my father.
Yeah, sure.
And I have a stepmother. My
Right.
father got remarried. So I did have a family. I had brothers and sisters.
Right.
And I was able to get all of that family. But a lot of people aren't lucky enough to have that.
Sure.
But I was able to get that. And they supported me through college. I was kicked out of the house after I was disfellowshipped. And that's happened to a number of people. So I've listened to stories like Prince and what's the other comedian? Sorry, Pimp Chronicles.
Cat Williams.
Cat Williams.
Cat
same-
Williams, yeah, sure.
He has the same story where he was kicked out.
Sure.
Had these religious differences.
I've talked to both of them about that
About
issue.
that?
Yeah, go
Right?
ahead. Yeah.
And I feel like they had it harder than I did. And I feel like it might have even shaped their drive for fame, and their drive for their craft. So that's the one good thing that can come out of it.
Certainly their creativity.
Sure.
And that goes back to you're a comedian. That goes back to Richard Pryor, and there are many others. Not every comedian, but the best are working out some kind of trauma on stage.
Yeah.
And the rest of us are beneficiaries of that. But that trauma becomes the sort of creative juice for them, I guess.
I think you have to be lucky enough. I feel like I'm lucky enough, or was lucky enough a few years ago, to kind of realize that and realize, how much do I want to work out my trauma on stage, and how much do I want to really work it out?
Yeah.
How much do I really want to be happy? Figure out what's going on with me. How did I grow up? Why did these things happen?
Right.
And I was able to do that through some help through therapy and through some really specialized help that I thought too that really helped me specifically with dealing with somebody who left a group and was cast out of that group, being disfellowshipped. And I feel like I was lucky to be able to do that. So now I'm at this stage where I don't feel tied to my art in that way. I don't feel like it's something that I have to get out there to fix me. I feel like that is that's a train that you get on, man, and it's hard to get off. And we can see, the things that, again, the struggles that Prince had, Michael Jackson, I wonder how much of that had to do, we know it had to do with their family and how they got along with them. And I didn't want that in my life. I feel like I'm lucky to be able to work some of that out and hopefully, continue to.
I've been at this a long time now, and I've talked to more people than I can count, as you well know, and had many experiences that I've shared with others, and people have shared their experiences with me. And I've come to realize one thing. I am now 60. I just turned 60 in September, and I've lived long enough to have settled on this one thing. There's all kind of hurt in the world. But for black folk, I think in particular, there ain't no hurt quite like church hurt. There ain't no hurt quite like church hurt. Now, I know this. You know this. I've written about it, so I don't need to go into it again. Anybody who knows my story, read my memoir, knows my story of the church hurt that I was subjected to, victimized by. And that church hurt literally becomes the first of 3 defining moments in my life. If you would ask me, Tavis, tell me about the defining moments in your life. There are 3. I could talk about it for hours. But the first of the 3 major defining moments of my life happens with this church hurt situation. It fundamentally changed my life. I am who I am today because of that church hurt experience, which is a long way of asking how that church hurt experience helped to define you, your life, how you show up in the world, your direction. Just tell me what the impact of that was on your life.
Well, and specifically, with the Jehovah's Witness, there's really positive aspects, and I've talked to other people, even Quinta, I'm on the show with, who has a different experience than I have. Her experience is pretty positive.
Sure.
And she talks about how she was able to learn how to public speak, because Jehovah's Witnesses really emphasize that, or did at one point in time, emphasize that public speaking, emphasize going and talking to people, the door-to-door work. Yeah. And so I felt like that really gave me those skills to be able to get up on stage and not be nervous, be able to communicate with people, to be able to get my ideas across, So there's that. But when you talk about the hurt, there's the talk. I had to learn how to, first of all, to deal with that pain. Also to deal with being in a group that tells you to, make less of yourself, to become part of the group, to not be so much of an individual. But I'm in an industry where I need to be an individual.
Exactly.
So I always have this fight.
Sure.
Of how much I promote myself, how much I do for myself.
To this day, that still lingers.
Oh yeah.
You still wrestle with that.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
I still feel like I need to be humble. I need to this ain't the job
humble.
to be humble.
Sit down. Be humble. Sit down. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I hear that song and I'm like, yes, we all need to be more humble. I'm like, not for you, Jerry.
Yeah. One final. I appreciate. First of all, let me say thank you for being so transparent. I do this every day, as you know, 3 hours a day. I've done it for 30+ years of my career, and I never know where any conversation is going to go with Kat, with Prince, with you, or anybody. I just never know where it's going to go, and that's the joy of sitting in this chair talking to people who are willing to be open and transparent, because the conversation can be rich and empowering for others who are listening. So I appreciate your transparency. One final point, and again, I'm not calling names. I'm not trying to divulge any privacies, but I had a friend of mine who not too long ago lost her mother. Her mother was a J-Dub. And because of the rules of the church, you know where I'm going here, if you are not a member of the J-Dub situation, then you can't speak at the service. Yeah. That broke my heart. I'm like, hold up. Your mama just died? And you telling me that you and your siblings cannot speak at the funeral of your mama?
Yeah.
Because y'all ain't members? I'm going to leave it there because I don't want people to think I'm bashing. For all my J-Dub friends listening, I'm not bashing it. Trust me, I just told you, I've had my own church hurt. Read my book and you'll see the issue I had with my Pentecostal church. So I'm not demonizing anybody. I'm just saying that struck me, and that thing hit me so hard in my heart that at the passing of the transition of your mama at her homegoing service, you can't say nothing because you didn't belong to her faith tradition.
Have your own service.
Yeah,
that's what I did.
Yeah, see that? You see that?
Yeah.
Is that what you did?
Yeah.
Tell me more about that right quick. Yeah.
Yeah, I have other family members that are in, and they ask me and say, "What do you want to do? Do you want to come to this service? You want to do?" I said, "Send me the remains.
Yeah.
I'll do it myself."
And
I did my own service. Yeah. I hadn't seen these people in years. I didn't know anybody that she was associated with in the religion. I hadn't, so why would I even subject myself? And they don't have to see me.
Sure.
Yeah, I have my own service.
Yeah. To the extent you're comfortable, tell me about that service. And I'm really pressing toward how you and your mother at least started to repair this breach before she passed away.
She was starting to have a neurological Lou Gehrig's disease.
Oh, that's a horrible disease.
Yeah.
I've known 2 people with that. That thing is horrible, man.
Very bad. I didn't know until near the end, and I got a call from some relatives, and then we started to pass messages back and forth. Then she wasn't aware that she had a grandson, so she was able to see she had a grandson. You know, I mean, those things are really painful, but I stick to I hadn't seen her and hadn't talked to her in 20 years. And for me, I was working on that, and I actually had started making it more public that, hey, we hadn't talked. So just because for me, I'd walked away from the organization, and then I started to wonder, hey, what's going on? You know, it's been this many years. The end of the world isn't here yet. You know, I don't know what they're teaching right now, but they can't be teaching the same thing that they were teaching 20 years ago, that she can't talk to me. So I started to investigate it a little bit, started to get into, you know, what's going on with them currently. And then I started to publicly talking about, hey, I haven't talked to my mother in 20 years, and I grew up this way. And then that's when I got the message back that she was sick. Yeah. She was dying. So just thankful that I got to, you know, got to be able to talk to her. Yeah.
And finally here, and I'll move to other stuff when we come forward here, on the actual service. Did the service, I know you don't ever close on the death of a loved one like you close on a house. I get that. But did that service that you had, your own service, celebrating your mother's life and legacy, did that bring you any sort of closure, better word, any sort of peace at all?
Yeah, I've never talked to anybody about this, but for me, we had talked when she was alive, when I was young, about what she wanted to do when she passed, and she wanted to be cremated, and she wanted the ashes, and so I was able to get the ashes, and I still they were with me, you know, they're with me every day. So for me, it was kind of like she came home, and now we're together, and so now I can. You know, in my mind, I have these conversations with her that I didn't have, and I feel like, and I've talked to therapists about this, that it is really, it really is reparative in your brain to be able to kind of, even when people aren't there with you, to repair those, to have those conversations in your mind. It does
to commune with them. Yeah.
Yes, it does something to your brain. It helps you heal.
Yeah,
So she's with me every day.
No, I love that. First of all, again, thank you for sharing that. I thought I was going to be talking about Abbott Elementary today. That's what I thought I was going to talk about for this hour. Abbott Elementary. I did not know Jerry Minor was going to walk up in here and set it off the way he did. But I appreciate his openness, his candor, his veracity about these issues. And I promise when we come forward, we will talk about Abbott Elementary. You're listening to Tavis Smile.
Helping to stretch your moral and political imagination. This is Tavis Smiley.
Progressive Home Quote Explorer lets you easily compare rates, so shopping for insurance might be the easiest part of owning a home. Definitely easier than this.
Psst, honey. Honey! What? Shh, there's a salesman walking up the driveway.
Oh no, he's got a clipboard.
What do we do?
Get down.
Down?
On the floor, you...
Shoot, did he see us?
Why are you breathing so loud?
Home ownership isn't easy, but with Progressive's Home Quote Explorer, shopping for home insurance is. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
I'm Bree Wood with 4 Things You Should Know with BIN News. The House passed a 6-month funding bill to prevent the government shutdown, narrowly passing 217 to 213. The bill now heads to the Senate, where its fate is uncertain. The U.S. says Ukraine is ready for a 30-day ceasefire with Russia. President Trump aims to get Russia's agreement. Following talks in Saudi Arabia, the U.S. will lift the pause on military aid and intel sharing with Ukraine. The Agriculture Department is reinstating over 5,000 probationary workers with back pay after a federal board ruled their firings may have been illegal. More than half were in the U.S. Forest Service. As of 2022, Black people represented 10.99% of the USDA's permanent workforce. And Fremont, California was named the happiest city in the U.S. by WalletHub. It has the highest share of households earning over $75,000 and the lowest separation and divorce rate. Get BIN News on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Let Express Employment Professionals help you hire for contract or full-time jobs. Forget about recruiting, sifting through resumes, and interviews with unqualified applicants. Go to expresspros.com to find the location near you. That's expresspros.com.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
I'm a bad man.
The Clippers' three-game winning streak ended Tuesday night with a 127-120 loss at New Orleans. Second straight game, the Clippers had to play without head coach Ty Lue. Lue is suffering with back pain. The NBA family lost an ultimate role model on Tuesday. Junior Bridgman, who the Lakers traded in 1975 to acquire a player named Kareem Abdul-Jabbar from Milwaukee, passed away after suffering a medical emergency while attending an event in Louisville. Bridgman was 71. Bridgman played the last 2 seasons of his 12-year NBA career with the Clippers. The real story about Bridgman is what he did after basketball. He never made more than $350,000 a year in his career, but he became a billionaire after building a fast food empire. In February, Forbes magazine listed Bridgman's net worth as more than $1.4 billion. More on the outstanding legacy of Junior Bridgman this afternoon. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
A new day is on the horizon.
Behind every great moment in history, there's a woman whose story went untold. This March, KBLA Talk 1580 celebrates the trailblazers who changed our world. From Rosa Parks to Constance Baker Motley, from Katherine Johnson to Kamala Harris. These are the voices that broke barriers, challenged limits, and reshaped America. Join us all month long as we honor the women who dared to dream, fight, and lead. KBLA Talk 1580, amplifying women's stories that inspire generations.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio that's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
Need better hot water? Water Heaters Only makes replacing your water heater easy. With one call and great pricing, Water Heaters Only can have you back in hot water the same day, within hours of your call. Visit waterheatersonly.com. That's waterheatersonly.com.
Paid for by government.com. Did you know? The United States Mint has issued a new Morgan silver dollar coin in proof condition for the first time. Not only that, they are also minted in 99.9% pure silver for the first time ever in history. Coin experts are calling this an amazing opportunity for anyone that knows the enduring popularity of Morgans. But you must hurry. Only 400,000 of these legal tender silver dollars were issued. These first ever Morgan silver dollars are brand new with stunning mirror-like finish, minted by the iconic San Francisco Mint. Call now and you're guaranteed a new first ever 99.9% pure silver proof Morgan dollar. To learn more, call 1-800-973-9717. If you order now, you will receive a free coin collector bonus pack, a $25 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-973-9717 now to secure your new Morgan silver dollars before they are gone. That's 1-800-973-9717.
Sometimes he fails at fitting in, but we're okay with that. You're inside the Tavis Smiley Show.
Tavis Smiley and Jerry Minor, actor, comedian, writer, will discuss his current role on the critically acclaimed series Abbott Elementary. Thought I would have done that by now, but this conversation just got so rich. It just took a turn of its own. But I, again, have been empowered by this conversation and Jerry's candor. It's been a beautiful thing to behold. So he said to me off air, he said, "I want to tell you something," and I'm bracing myself. I don't know what you want to tell me, but we're back on the air. So what do you want to tell me, Jerry Minor?
No, I was just saying when I moved here to LA. I came from Chicago. I was doing theater in Chicago, did Second City. And I
love Second City, by the way.
Thank you.
So many legends out of that program.
Right?
Legends, literally. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
So I had a friend come pick me up. I was here. I came here to work on a show, TV show. And actually, my friend was from Chicago, too, Second City. Mm-hmm. And he came pick me up at the airport. And he said, "Hey, I'm going to take you to this place. You'll love this place. It's called Pans. It's out here by the airport." I said, "Okay." It's like, you're laughing because that must have been your spot.
I think I know where this is going.
Because it seemed like it was your spot. You seemed real comfortable. We walk into Pans and I saw you there and I said, "I've made it. I'm in LA. I didn't even get from the airport and I'm seeing famous people already." You just sitting there at the counter. You know, you kind of hold court. You know, like they knew you there.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my first foray into chicken and waffles too.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my introduction to L.A.
And what's funny about that is, that story does not surprise me because I ate at Pan's a lot. Still get by there every now and then.
Mm-hmm.
And the beautiful thing is that through the pandemic and everything else, they're still there.
Yeah.
There's so many. And what year was that? What year would you guess that was?
That was 98.
Yeah, see that?
Mm-hmm.
There's so many restaurants in this city that I've loved over the years that didn't make it.
I know.
Through the pandemic.
They're closing now. Right?
Yeah. But so Pan's has been there all this time, man. So anyway, I'm glad you didn't say I was mean to you or called you a name or something or cussed you out or something.
I get those all the time. When people say, "Hey, I met you," it's like I hope I was nice.
Yeah, exactly.
I was in a good mood that day.
My big mama, God rest her soul, big mama used to always say, "Baby," and in her Mississippi drawl, "Baby, the key to life is just to treat everybody right."
That's right.
That's Big Mama. Just treat everybody right.
You never know.
I can hear you. Baby, treat everybody right. So I try my best to treat everybody right because you never know when it may come back on you, right?
That's right.
I said, I met you so-and-so. Was I nice? Did I say hello? Did I speak to you? Did I sign your book? Did I,
Yeah, I apologize.
I apologize if I didn't, yeah. So I'm glad to know that story wasn't any worse than what it was. All right, Miles, it's about time now to get to Abbott Elementary. So the publicist at the studio at the show won't be mad at me that we didn't get to Abbott Elementary. I'm going to say, hey, blame Jerry. He set it off. I was just following him. Here's a clip now from some of Jerry Minder's work on Abbott Elementary.
After tallying everything up, we'd like to announce that the winner is nobody.
But each of your projects were amazing in their own way.
Yes, unfortunately, no one project satisfied all of the judges' wildly different standards.
How can a volcano be culturally appropriated?
I produced the light from a potato. What have you made from a potato besides hash browns?
Yeah. Miss Howard's just a hater.
Listen, we understand your frustration, but this is good. Science is all about trial and error.
These rules are absurd and have nothing to do with their projects.
I just wanted to paint my volcano and put jelly beans on it, but Miss Teagues wouldn't let me.
And I wanted to put googly eyes on my potato.
That was you.
It would have been cool as hell. Those eyes would have been all like, whoa.
Yeah. The grown-ups took this way too seriously. Hey, you don't get to judge us anymore. Okay, fellow scientists, change your projects back to what you wanted them to be. And then we'll judge ourselves and choose our own winner.
That's a little revolting.
Absolutely not.
Too late. We already whooped an agreement.
There are so many great lines just in that one clip. My favorite is that the grown-ups took it way too seriously. The grown-ups took it way too seriously. I don't need to color this question much more than this. What is it like working on this hit TV show, Abbott Elementary?
It's great.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of TV shows, had a lot of experience in this, and this is one of my favorite experiences at working. It's a really pleasant experience. Even with a lot of the kids, it can be long days, it can be hard, but man, everybody gets along so well.
Yeah.
They really treat each other really well. It's a great work environment.
Yeah. How did you? I'm always fascinated by the backstory. How did you end up on Abbott Elementary?
Straight up audition.
Yeah.
I auditioned the second season. I auditioned for a part of the first season,
right?
And didn't get it, and then I auditioned for this part in the second season, and they liked the character, and they kept bringing it back.
Yeah. I'm always fascinated too by whether or not you are playing the role for which you auditioned.
I am.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've seen some strange stories. They go into audition for one thing, they're like, no, we don't like you for that, but why don't you read for this?
I did audition for another role, didn't get it, and auditioned for this one, and this is the one I got.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yep.
I was saying to Jerry earlier that in many of my, over the course of my career, certainly my television career, I took to asking many of the celebrities I've interviewed over the years off camera, sometimes off mic in the studio, off camera, of course, on the stage. But I've over the years asked a lot of very important people, very successful people, what the best advice is they can offer me. And at one point, I put a book out, a little small book that sold like crazy. I should do it again. Put a book out of all this great advice that I've been given by all of these celebrities. And I asked Steven Spielberg one day what the best advice was that he ever received. He said, I received it and I didn't take it. I said, what was it? He said, "Don't work with kids. Don't work with animals." And don't work on water.
Yeah.
And I started thinking about his career. He violated all of them. Stay away from kids, animals, and water. Mr. Spielberg had violated all of those. What is it like? You said that very nicely, but I saw your eyes roll just a little bit. At least I thought I did. When you talk about the kids, I can't imagine that the days are as long without the kids as they are with the kids.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No. And then, kids have different rules.
Sure.
They're in school when they're not shooting, so they have
Right.
to go off and they're not shooting, and they can only shoot for part of the day.
Yeah.
So a lot of times we have to switch out the whole group
Shooting
of
schedule.
kids.
Yeah.
You got their parents there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You said that so nice. You got their parents there. Oh yeah, the parents of these little stars, right? Yeah,
Exactly.
We gonna leave that alone. We done enough on the J Dub thing already. We ain't getting the parents mad at us as well.
Hey, good people, but they in the business too. You know what I mean?
No, I get it. What is it? This show, it works. Obviously, you guys just finished shooting season 4. So one more year, and you're in the syndication, right?
Yeah.
Real syndication,
Right.
5 seasons in. But it works. It's award winning. What is it about this show that you think resonates in this particular moment with viewing audiences?
Wow, that's a good question. I think there's not a lot of other shows that are like it. You have the aspects of it being a workplace comedy, which I think always, when people get into it, they can really it resonates with people. We all work, we know what it's like, and that's a good place for stories, for comedic stories. I think that it's a departure from what we've seen a lot. It's an inner city school, but it treats it in a really good way. I mean, these teachers obviously care about working here. They're not jaded, as we've seen in other shows about inner city schools and stuff like that. They really have a concern for the students, even in characters like mine, who always aren't the best, but you still see that he cares for the students.
For those who haven't seen Abbott Elementary, tell me about your character.
He's a little man. I don't even know how to describe him. People online just describe him as the worst.
Yeah.
He's the kind of person that looks down his nose at all the other people that he works with. But like I said, he really cares for his students. So I think that in recent episodes, we've discovered that part of the reason that he is the way he is, he's so strict and stringent, is because he really does care. That's his way of caring about his job.
Yeah. It's a hit show. It's called Abbott Elementary. We are pleased to have one of the stars of the show, Jerry Minor, in studio with us right now. More of this conversation with Mr. Minor when we come forward on Tavis Smiley.
From California to the Carolinas, everybody's listening to Tavis. More when we come forward.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stopped, opt out. Individual results may vary. Consult a doctor prior to use.
You've lost so much weight. How'd you do it?
I got medical treatment for weight loss through Zelty and lost 50 pounds. I struggled for the longest time, but Zelty makes it easy and affordable to get weight loss treatment 100% online. Zelty providers can prescribe FDA-approved weight loss medications clinically shown to help people lose weight, like Wegovy, Zepbound, and others.
I've heard those medications can help you lose weight, but aren't they expensive?
Zelty can help get the medication covered by insurance, so it's as little as $0 a month.
What if you don't have insurance?
No problem. Zelty may be able to help you get other GLP-1 medications for 80 to 90% off the price of name brand medications.
I'm ready to start losing weight. How do I get started with Zelty?
Just text.
Text SUNNY to 200-300 to get started today with Zelty and see if weight loss medications like Wegovy and Zepbound are right for you. Don't wait. Text now for a link to your exclusive offer. Text SUNNY to 200-300. That's SUNNY to 200-300. SUNNY to 200-300.
We asked seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up. Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone. And should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement.
Check your statement every month. If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call your senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 855-613-7080.
KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 is committed to self-care and community well-being. Walk Good LA was formed in June 2020, inspired by the Black Lives Matter movement and the beginning stages of the COVID-19 pandemic. What began as a few minutes of breath work and yoga meditation before protests against police brutality turned into a safe space for the community to heal in hard times. The immensely positive response from the community transformed the momentum into a movement. Today, Walk Good LA is a black and brown-led community wellness organization based in Los Angeles. They provide spaces for healing through community yoga classes, guided meditations, hikes, run clubs, and other activations throughout Los Angeles that attract hundreds of members weekly. With the help of Propel and Michael B. Jordan, they now have a yoga and wellness studio in Los Angeles called the Walk Good Yard. To join their mailing list and connect with healing spaces, please visit walkgoodla.org. That's walkgoodla.org. Or find them on Instagram at walkgoodla. This is a community call to action, a community call to healing from KBLA Talk 1580.
Freedom is an endless meeting. So let's get back to it with Tavis Smiley.
Tavis Smiley and Jerry Minor, actor, comedian, writer, one of the stars of Abbott Elementary, and delighted to have him in studio. So Jerry, for those of you who are SNL fans, of course we just saw the big 50th anniversary of Lorne Michaels' quintessential project called SNL. Jerry was actually on SNL for one season, 2000, 2001, is that correct?
That's right.
He was on there for one season, and I was actually going through some old clips the other night preparing for our conversation. I remember this clip when it first played. I won't play the whole thing, but just give me a taste of it. This is Jerry Minor playing Al Sharpton. Daryl Hammond in blackface is playing Jesse Jackson. He's pretty good at Jesse's voice. Just give me a taste of it, Miles.
Among all the other problems with this year's election, there have also been allegations of discrimination and intimidation of black voters. Here to comment are Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton.
Tonight, we pause and give thanks and praise to God for being good enough to allow us to petition United States Supreme Court to count the vote and not the clock.
Tell them, Jesse!
I'll take this position. The thesis, antithesis, creative synthesis, the critical mass of mutual survival.
We have an egregious situation. These allegations over voter intimidation have forced us to start litigation because George Bush is trying to win this election over prestidigitation.
just a little taste of Jerry Minor as Al Sharpton, Daryl Hammond as Jesse. Jesse's pretty good. I mean, for a white guy, he did pretty good on Jesse's voice, did he not?
He's very good at doing it.
Yeah. Tell you about your 1 year on SNL.
Yeah, so I was there. I got hired as a writer.
Yeah.
Ended up getting to perform a little bit, and then that was my last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had done other sketch. I'd done Mr. Show, other sketch, and so Saturday Night Live was a little bit different. Had a lot of friends that were on there, obviously,
Sure.
from Second City,
Mm-hmm.
and they had been trying to get me on for years, and I finally had a chance to go on. I even auditioned a year before that, and
Right.
I was doing another show, so I wasn't able to do it. Yeah, my experience was a little bit different, I think, than a lot of the people because I'd had other experiences.
Sure.
I was frustrated the whole time.
The whole time
I was
you were there. Yeah.
Didn't like it. That scene, that Jesse Jackson scene. I told Daryl, I said, don't he said, I'm sitting next to you, because he usually would do Jesse Jackson. He didn't do blackface, right?
Yeah.
And that was what I admired about it the most. It's like, you don't need to do it.
Yeah.
You know, you do it good enough. You do the voice good enough. You
ain't got to be.
You ain't got to put no makeup on.
Yeah.
He's like, but I'm sitting next to you now.
Yeah.
I got to do it. I say, I don't think you should do it. He said, why not? I said, because years later, somebody's going to see a picture of that.
Exactly.
They don't know what you're doing.
That's right.
They don't know you're doing Jesse Jackson. They might not even know who Jesse Jackson is. And, you know, I had this discussion about blackface for a long time, from the time I even started, even at Second City, where, you know, people would have the best intentions of the world, and you would have to talk to them about, people don't know the history
don't do that,
of blackface.
Exactly.
Don't know that, you know, even in the rules in theater, it's illegal. You can't do the union rules because of years of people doing it, putting cork on their face. People just don't know. When they know that whole history, then it gives you the whole idea of why you might not want to put makeup on your face.
Well, all I can tell you is this: I ain't mad at Lorne Michaels. He got 50 years out of it, but you were not the first black person I've talked to who didn't necessarily have a great time at SNL. And yet Keenan is the longest serving cast member ever.
Things have gotten better.
Yeah,
I would imagine
it cuts both ways.
Yeah.
Our remaining moments with Jerry Minor when we come forward on Tavis Smiley.
This is getting good. Yeah, man. Tavis Smiley continues when we come forward.
Robinhood Gold members can now enjoy the VIP treatment, receiving a 3% IRA match on annual retirement contributions. With Robinhood Gold, the perks of the high net worth are now available for any net worth. The new gold standard is here with Robinhood Gold. To receive a 3% boost on annual IRA contributions, sign up at Robinhood.com/gold.
Investing involves risk. 3% match requires Robinhood Gold $5 a month for 1 year from first match. Must keep funds in IRA for 5 years. Go to Robinhood.com/boost. Robinhood Financial LLC member SIPC. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold LLC.
If you're like me, 60 and retired, making ends meet, especially here at the supermarket and drugstore, is tough. I'm so blessed to have found benefitscheckup.org. It's a free and confidential website from the National Council on Aging that connected me to $1,200 a year in programs that help pay for food, medicine, utilities, and more. Maybe it can help you. benefitscheckup.org.
You know where you want to go in life, and City National Bank can help. City National knows the dedication it takes to build your vision for the future into a reality, and our team is here for you. We have a wide range of options to help, from personal savings accounts to interest-bearing money market savings accounts and more, all designed to help you get where you want to go. City National, here for every stage of the journey. Learn more at cnb.com. City National Bank is a subsidiary of Royal Bank of Canada, member FDIC.
KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminds you that we keep us safe. Every girl deserves a chance to shine. That's the belief behind Forgiving for Living, Inc. Since 1999, this organization has been empowering at-risk girls ages 13 to 18, helping them overcome behavioral and mental health challenges. Founder Wendy Gladney's personal journey inspired the mission to give girls hope and purpose through the power of forgiveness. Through their ambassador program, workshops, and annual conference, Forgiving for Living has touched over 3,000 young lives, providing mentoring, life skills, training, and tools for building self-esteem and confidence. You can make a difference. Visit forgivingforliving.org to donate, volunteer, become a mentor, or find help for a young girl in need. Forgiving for Living, Inc., building brighter futures for young girls. Visit forgivingforliving.org today. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
I can't believe how spotless my floors look after using the Swiffer Power Mop. No more dragging around a heavy mop and messy bucket. Now I get the same deep clean without all the work. Thanks to the powerful solution and scrubbing pad of the Swiffer Power Mop, dirt and grime don't stand a chance, and I don't break a sweat. Mic drop. Mop drop.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
A smarter way to mop. Try it or your money back.
Sometimes he fails at fitting in, but we're okay with that. You're inside the Tavis Smiley Show.
You are indeed for 3 more minutes with Jerry Minor, actor, comedian, writer, one of the stars of Abbott Elementary, honored to have had him. I knew this was going to be a great conversation, especially until you were coming in studio. I didn't know it'd be this good. So again, I want to thank you for your openness, for your transparency, for your candor, for your veracity. It's a beautiful thing, man. I deeply, deeply appreciate it. In the 3 minutes I have left, a couple things I want to cover right quick. You used to do a podcast called Call Awareness?
Yes.
Yeah. What happened to that? Now, are you doing another one? What's up with the podcast thing?
Yeah, I'm doing another one. I was doing something of cults, and
Right.
for me, it was a learning experience. I was getting into it, and then my interests have changed. I really do need to do the things that I really am proficient in, and that is comedy. So I'm doing another podcast. It's called Play in the Back of the Room, and where I'm going to be interviewing my friends about comedy, about what we do, the art of comedy, how we do it.
Yeah. I've asked this question of others, but not of Jerry Minor. I said this to somebody weeks ago, and I think it's still true, that most of the conversations I've had of late I'm talking about the last couple of years, with a variety of comedians, I've been fortunate to talk to most all of them. But people think that comedy right now, black people that I've been talking to, think that comedy's in a sort of dark space right now, dark place right now. You see it differently?
Well, I mean, when you talk about it as a whole.
Yeah.
And I'll say this: there were a number of comedians who got an advantage during COVID. I mean, it's just plain and simple.
Yeah.
A lot of people weren't performing, and then the comics that were, you can see where they are right now.
Sure.
As far as with our black comics, though, I really feel like this is a time that's never been better.
Yeah.
You go online and just go look at Chocolate Sundays, here or whatever black show that they're doing. I mean, these guys right now, these newer black comedians are fantastic.
Right.
I mean, they are really, really good. So I invite anybody to go out to your local comedy club, especially our urban comedians out there right now. They have honed their craft out of the public eye. So we don't have Comic View on. We don't have a lot of the show, or I forgot the HBO show that we used to have. We don't have a lot of those shows right now, and I feel like
Def Comedy Jam.
Def Comedy Jam.
Yeah.
When you are out of the public eye, it gives a chance for art to really, really grow.
Yeah.
So if you go and watch what's happening in the clubs right now, I think you'd be really surprised and happy.
One thing's for sure, ain't no shortage of material.
Right?
Ain't no shortage of content right about now. That we can agree on. His name is Jerry Minor. Again, I am delighted in having him in studio. Actor, comedian, writer, recurring role on Abbott Elementary hit show. Things are working out for Jerry Minor. He ain't minor, he's major. And I've been honored to have you on. Thank you, Jerry. I appreciate your time, man.
Thank you so much.
Good to have you in studio. Just like that, 3 hours gone. Back here tomorrow, Lord willing, to do it all over again. Until tomorrow, thanks for tuning in to Tavis, Smiley. And as always, keep the faith.